and Tangela too, and our host, Vincent Van Dahl, and he brings it to ya! Creature features, and all creatures, and all creatures! And the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from a fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. 'Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Gonna get you tonight.
Some of my most favorite American television programs during my youth were Tarzan and Doc Torrey. Splendid shows filled with adventure and intrigue and an utter menagerie of exotic African creatures. I'd always relished the thought of one day visiting this large continent on my own. However, when I did finally make it to Africa whilst on concert tour, the only spare time I had with the grueling schedule was enough only to stop in for tea now and then at the Capitan's restaurant in Johannesburg. But as sad as that story sounds, it does have a happy ending, for our guest tonight works at an establishment only a short drive from here that allows regular people, like you and I, to go on an actual safari adventure without the need for a passport, baggage, nor an international flight. Welcome to Creature Features. I am your host, Vincent. The lovely lass with the lengthy lashes would be my tantalizingly tender and tenaciously talkative tenant, Tangela. And the otherwise dapper chap with the long face and the short fuse would be my learnedly logical and level-headed labor supervisor, the laudable Mr. Livingston. Have we a fabulously adventurous show tonight for you? First up, we'll be joined by Nate Woodward, the major domo over at the fabulous Safari West Animal Preserve. He'll tell us about this wonderful facility, explain to us how you can visit, and we'll even show some footage from Tangela's visit to this amazing park. He'll also chat with us about tonight's film, which is The Killer Shrews from 1959. Didn't we recently show this film?
We most certainly did.
Tangela says it's been 686 days since we've shown it, which makes it fresh again. Wait, aren't you going to tell me how many seconds it's been since? 59,270,400 seconds. You know, we really need to get her signed up for Mensa.
We tried that once. They refused to even consider her after she conveyed her interest in nuclear weaponry.
Fools. They don't deserve to have such a sophisticated young lady in their midst. Was it not Charles Chaplin who said, "I'd never join a club that wouldn't have me"? In any case, don't you dare go away, because it's going to be another night of animal adventure fright right here on Creature Features. Stay tuned.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Micromat, making products that keep your Macintosh running at its best.
Welcome to Creature Features. We're back. You know, every week we do the show, and every week it's the same. We do like some kind of commencement introduction, and then I come back here and I have to do another commencement of some kind because, you know, I already introduced him. You know, why should I do it again? Because he's a wonderful man. That's why we're going to do it again. We have with us Nate Woodward from Safari West. I love your facility.
Oh, thank you.
No. And I love him because he works at the facility, so that makes sense, right? How was the drive up?
Not bad.
Did you have any trouble finding the house?
No, not at all.
No bird attacks?
No, we get those on property.
Now, you should see the birds they have. You know, when I went there last time, you've got this one bird. It looks like it's got a long neck, and he's got like a white hairdo that hangs down. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the demoiselle crane.
Demoiselle crane. That bird loved me. I don't know why. She followed me around everywhere I went.
Oh, you met Kovu.
Is that Kovu?
Yeah,
Does she
Kovu
do that
likes
to everyone?
people.
Oh, I felt special. I suppose I'm not. Kovu, all right, I'm going to remember that. Anyways, Nate is going to tell us all about Safari West, and we're going to show some footage of Tangela at Safari West, so you can see what this place looks like. It's incredible. I mean, we've got nothing like this anywhere close, right? I mean, unless you go to, say, San Francisco Zoo.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
That's the closest, right?
Yeah, San Francisco and Oakland are great facilities, too.
Right. But if you want to see anything like this, then you have to go, if you're going north, you can only go to, like, Seattle.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or you could buy a ticket to Africa.
No, that's complicated. It requires a passport. I have to renew mine. So instead, I shall renew my Safari West passport. And we're going to watch the Killer Shrews. Have you seen this film before?
I have.
You have. So we chose this film because there's like amazing animals, and you have amazing animals. And although you don't have Killer Shrews, do you?
Thank goodness, no.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about what kind of exotic animals you have. We're going to watch this film, and we're going to bring Tangela in here at some point, right? She needs to come in. We keep her out all the time. All right, so let's start this film, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
Those who hunt by night will tell you that the wildest and most vicious of all animals is the tiny shrew. The shrew feeds only by the dark of the moon. He must eat his own body weight every few hours or starve. And the shrew devours everything. Bones, flesh, marrow, everything. In March, first in Alaska, and then invading steadily southward, there were reports of a new species. The giant killer shrew.
Sure is a lot of quiet out there. Almost smell it, can't you?
No, but I can feel it. The pressure's dropped so fast, it's almost made my ears pop.
Hurricane's got different ways of telling you it's there. Where is it?
Dead ahead?
What's that mean to us?
My boy, that puts our port right in the middle of it. There's a cove on the lee side, though. We'll snuggle up close to the bluff and ride it out.
What about the bottom?
Well, the chart shows it's good holding ground. It's clay. You know something? If this thing had an automatic pilot, I wouldn't have to put up with you.
Then you wouldn't have nobody to chew out.
We should be there in a couple of hours. These mills of yours keep running.
Look, automatic pilots can't play Dixieland jazz on them engines like I can.
Hey, Rook. Rook, come here. Take a look. There she is, dead ahead.
Man, that sure do look good.
Man named Craigus owns this island, doesn't he?
That's the name on the crate, Dr. Milo Crackers.
We'll unload tomorrow. I don't want this crap sitting high in that water when that blow hits.
You gonna ride stern too with a lot of water under?
That's right. That sea won't make up in that cove. That wind will have her whipping around like a kite. Slip forward and break out the heavy weather hook. Shacklet, make sure it's free to run.
I'm out, Shacklet.
Good.
Oh, she'll ride like a duck. If she swings too far to starboard, we might have to take a check line to shore. Hey, Rook, take a slant up that trail. Now, that's a rather strange setup, wouldn't you say?
Like somebody's getting rid of somebody, huh, Captain?
Maybe. Hard to tell.
I'm Dr. Craig.
Thorne Sherman. Have your supplies aboard.
That's good. Nothing wrong with Captain Ferguson, I hope.
Well, I wouldn't know. I just bought his run.
Oh, I see. Were you able to fill our order?
Everything on the list. Here's the manifest.
Missing last week's supply has run us a little short, you know. Captain, after you have unloaded, I have a passenger for you. And Captain Sherman, this is my daughter, Ann Craig.
Oh, so you're the passenger.
That's right, Captain.
Oh, it's going to be nice having you aboard. I'm getting a little tired looking at Griswold. But we're not leaving today. In fact, we're not even unloading. That load will cut the roll in half. You expecting an invasion?
Yes, animals.
Game or otherwise?
Under certain conditions, it could be dangerous.
Hey, Rook, you want to shake the kinks out? Limber up a little?
Not me, Captain Blight. You go right ahead and stretch your legs. That ship's gonna be bucking like a bucking bronc for long. Besides, I got some work left to do.
If you do come ashore, wear a gun.
Got you, Captain.
When I told you about the hurricane, you act like you didn't know anything about it. What's the matter? Your set broken down?
You've been out of communication for more than a week, Captain.
Can't it be fixed?
It's totally out of commission.
My assistant, Mr. Farrell, Jerry Farrell.
Father, perhaps the captain would enjoy a drink.
Well, of course. Will you join us in a cocktail?
Well, I've never been known to turn down a drink yet. I'll be glad to accept.
Fine. In that case, we'll have martinis. Mario? Si, senor. Mix them, please. Right this way, Captain. Come in.
You have everything here you need?
We are self-sufficient here. We have cows for fresh milk, chickens for fresh eggs.
We even have saddle horses.
Sort of a world all your own.
It's exactly what I've tried to create.
Well, to each his own.
If you have to be isolated for your work, you've picked a lonely little island.
Excuse me, please. I think I'll change.
She's a little worried because you aren't leaving until tomorrow.
Well, I can understand that. But there's something else bothering her.
Guests of the show stay at Hotel E on Courthouse Square in Santa Rosa.
What's this?
It is the power bill.
Oh, blast. Has Tangela been running that dreaded Jacob's Ladder device, or has Maurice been using that vile electric cooker again?
Neither. The large bill is due to the number of lights and equipment that is required to produce this show.
Well, I think this is one of the many occasions where we can get by with a little help from our friends. Our friends at home, that is. Dear friends at home, please consider becoming a patron for Creature Features. For just a few dollars a month, you can help cover this grisly power bill. But more importantly, with your generous support, we can do a myriad of other things to help keep you entertained every week, like get better movies or more guests, and we might even be able to create that Creature Features motion picture so many of you have asked for. And if you're willing to spend a little more with your friends here at Poulter Manor, there's some additional benefits as well. So visit the link below and become a patron member of the Creature Features family today. I will thank you, Tangela will thank you, and Livingston will merely raise an eyebrow in approval. Welcome back to Creature Features. We are still with the wonderful Mr. Nate Woodward from Safari West, one of my most favorite places. It's like a zoo, but better. Much better. And we're going to talk to Nate in a sec, but first, this film, Killer Shrews, right? They go to an island. You know, anytime somebody gets in a boat and goes to an island and it's not Hawaii, there's going to be trouble. It's just what happens in these films. It's, you know, they can hear the music when they land the boat, and they know it's bad music. Mm-hmm. Bad things are going to happen. So this movie gets better, promise. But Nate, how long have you worked at Safari West?
I've been at Safari West about 6 years.
6 years. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a long time. You must be like president of the company by now, right?
Not quite.
Not quite? All right. All right. Well, you get to do all kinds of fun things, so it probably felt like 6 months.
Yeah. No, when I think about it, it feels like I just started there, but...
Well, you get to ride the giraffes, right?
No, they still don't let me do that sort of thing.
You know, they make special saddles, right, for giraffes?
Not for giraffe, but oddly enough for ostrich. We don't do that at our place, but people do.
No, that would be wonderful. Mm-hmm. No, that would be fun. All right, so how did this place get started? I mean, of all places to have a safari adventure here in Sonoma County.
Started by a guy named Peter Lang.
Right.
Peter Lang was in ranching and construction, got into raising African antelope, moved to Northern California in 1988 and started building.
Right.
Met a woman named Nancy from the San Francisco Zoo, PhD in ornithology, lead curator.
Great minds.
The two of them got together and built as authentic as they could an African safari experience in Sonoma County. 1993, they gave their first tour to a bunch of folks in the back of Peter's pickup truck, and we've been growing for the 27, 28 years ever since into what we are today.
My goodness. Well, mission accomplished. It is one of the most wonderful. It takes like, what, 2 hours to go around the whole?
About 3 hours. We're 400 acres out there.
No, it's wonderful. And you're like on a real safari truck. What do they call those trucks?
They are actually vintage power wagons from the 50s that our team transforms into safari trucks.
They look like giant Land Rovers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, one day I want to see the Queen driving one. You know she drives a Land Rover.
I didn't know that.
No, yeah, she drives a Land Rover. She drives the old style one from the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Right. I think it's the same one she's had all her life. She's the queen. She can do those things. All right. Well, what do you say we get back to this film? And then when we come back, you're going to tell us about all the different animals you have there. And we're going to be showing clips continuously of Tangella showing you as well. So
sounds great.
Back to the film we go. Don't go away. See you on the other side of the break.
Radford, would you please step over here? I'd like you to meet someone.
Just a second, Doctor.
Go on for hours. Dr. Bain.
There's no need to shout, Doctor. I'm right here.
I'd like you to meet Captain Thorne Sherman. This is my other assistant, Radford Bain. How do you do?
2 new litters since lunch, Doctor. Both support GT116.
That's good, but...
We can breed them to the 205 group in about 3 weeks. But I'd prefer to wait and expose about half of them to the Hoskins factor first. If you agree.
Good idea. Do you know there's a hurricane coming?
Well, I don't suppose there's much we can do about that. Glad to meet you. Sherman, wasn't it?
You have to excuse Radford. Anything that does not concern this project does not get through to him. Brilliant mind. He would start at it if someone didn't remind him to eat.
Must be very interesting work. What's his field?
Biology. He specialized in genetics, heredity.
I'm afraid my interest doesn't run in that line, you know.
Think what would happen if he could isolate and identify the inherited factor in each gene.
Now, wait a minute. I'm afraid I'm not very good with pure research.
This is practical research. Generally, among mammals, the smaller the size, the higher the metabolism and the shorter the lifespan.
Is that right?
Well, I'm attempting to decrease the size while maintaining a low metabolism and resultant a longer lifespan.
For what reason?
Overpopulation. Not a problem now, but it will be in time. If we were half as big as we are now, we could live twice as long on our natural resources.
Father, may I speak with you a moment? Will you please excuse us, Captain?
Well, providing you drop the captain, I prefer Thorne.
No.
Tell me something, Doctor. Has a hurricane ever hit this island before that you know of?
I wouldn't know. You've only been here 9 months, and this place has been unoccupied for years.
Well, have you ever been through one?
Only the fringes.
Well, this one's building up very fast. Pressure drops very quickly in the center. I'd advise you to get some doors and windows open in this place.
Ventilators on the roof. And if you'll freshen Anne's drink, I'll go and check them.
I'd be happy to.
Thank heavens you arrived today.
Why, are rations getting short?
No, it's more than that. Much more. We'll surely be able to sail tomorrow, won't we?
Possibly. But not probable. Not delayed, anyway. Takes a long time for a sea like that to quiet down.
Well, if you're worrying about me, you needn't. I'm a good sailor.
Oh, I'm not worried about you. You'll sail when the time's right.
Got them opened, all right. Oh, Captain, let me freshen you a drink. One for the road. I'm trying to rush you, but it will be dark soon.
I've invited Thorne for dinner, Father.
Oh, I see. If you're not worried about your ship, you're welcome.
I'll take a rain check on that dinner.
If you wish.
Father, I've asked Thorne to stay.
Progress, Doctor. This is the sole survivor of Group 30. 28 months old today.
Well, that's equivalent to 140 years to us.
That's right, yet it still maintains low metabolism without any sluggishness.
Not the breakthrough, but it certainly sets our course. Radford, suspend series 52 through 96, and we'll concentrate on the rest.
What is that?
It's a Sorex cericidae.
Looks like a small rat. Smells like a skunk.
They have musk glands in their knees. These little fellows are our subjects. They have a birth cycle of 10 to 14 days, and using them, we can establish traits. We can trace the progressions through a number of generations over a short period of time.
Well, how big do they get?
That's an adult. See, their muzzle is longer and thicker than the rat's. It extends over the lower mandible, see?
Does he bite?
Only when he's hungry.
Well, maybe you better take him. He doesn't know me.
All he knows is his next meal. He's just been fed. He'll be all right for another 8 hours. The shutter blew open. Bradford?
I got it, senor.
Let that scare you? It's going to get worse.
Storms always frighten her, ever since she was a child. They're not climbers. They are digging animals, a lot like the mole. They feed only at night unless they're starving. And when they are hungry enough, they'll tackle anything regardless of size.
You kidding?
Mm-hmm. If you leave 2 of them in a cage for 12 hours without food, the stronger will eat the weaker.
Like cannibals.
Precisely. You see, their intense activity requires a tremendous amount of energy. To supply it, they must eat 3 times own weight in food every 24 hours or starve. Radford, would you please take this? Take it. Some call them bone eaters. When the flesh is gone, they'll eat the bones for marrow. All they'll leave are teeth, horns,
I could
hooves.
use another martini. Do you mind?
Of course, my dear. I'll get you one. Huh? Mario? Aquí, por favor. Mario will show to the bath. He will freshen up a bit. Lleve el señor al baño.
Sí, señor. Sígame, por favor.
Excuse me.
Aquí, señor.
You got a problem, too? ¿Qué pasó?
Nada. Nothing, señor. But you will leave on the ship tomorrow.
Well, I think that all depends on the wind and the sea, don't you?
Sí, señor. No. You may joke, dear. I feel the point. I see.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, if anybody else is concerned about my sailing tomorrow, why, you see they feel the point too, huh? I don't like to repeat myself.
Okay, señor.
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Not now. Stay tuned. This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeaturesStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Welcome back to Creature Features. Mr. Nate was forced to step away by you-know-whom. You know, I hope she's nice when she does this.
I haven't heard any complaints today.
Well, no, we hear complaints all the time, but they come from the police.
Yes.
Right. Anyways, we're going to take this opportunity to do letters because you send them to us, and it's only proper and polite that we read them, correct?
Some of them, yes.
Good. Give me a letter, Mr. Livingston, if you please.
A letter from Mississippi.
Mississippi. Can you spell Mississippi?
Yes.
He's smart that way. I can spell it too, though, you know. All right. This is from J.R. Willis in Mississippi. And he goes, hello, my name is J.R. Willis. I live in Mississippi, and I love your show. Well, we love you, J.R. That's a great name, J.R.
Sounds like a cowboy.
It's like John Robert. I bet he's a poet or something. You guys make a great host team, and I love the obscure B movies you dig up. I love Mr. Livingston's sarcastic sense of humor. Vincent has the coolest style and is an awesome horror host. I also love his cool clothes, and Tangela is always captivating without having to say a single word, and also has a really awesome hairstyle. Yeah, she does have awesome hair, but, she could use her head to mop the floor. And that would be awesome as well, would it not?
I don't think she appreciates that.
No, she doesn't care. Also, the song at the beginning of the show kicks... Can I say that word?
Behind.
The song at the beginning of the show kicks behind as well. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you so much, JR. That was done by our friend Zetro. He's supposed to be coming to visit us soon.
Really?
He told me so. No, I was on his show recently.
It's always a pleasure. Yes,
always a pleasure.
So we have a letter from Carmel, California.
Carmel.
Home
Is
of
it like
Clint
caramel
Eastwood.
or Carmel?
Carmel. There's no extra E in there.
No, you sound like you're doing the voice when you do Carmel. Carmel. All right. What do we got? This is, oh my goodness. All right. This is from Tim, Carmel by the Sea.
Carmel by the Sea.
Not Carmel by the volcano. You worried me for a moment. If it was from Carmel by the volcano, this would not be a picture of a lovely sunset. It would be a picture of lava coming down and raining death. Would it not?
It looks like a volcano.
Carmel by the Sea. All right, here we go. Tim Carmel the Sea says, Dear Creature Features, I was very interested in your movie Mars Needs Women, which you showed New Year's weekend. This is because on New Year's Day, someone posted the enclosed photograph on the local Carmel Facebook page. This is, I guess it's not a sunset. It looks like almost like a nuclear explosion type thing. I don't know. We'll put a big one up. Although there were a couple of individuals who dismissed this as a mere cloud formation, most of the people on that page, myself and Clint included, are of the belief that the Martians have in fact landed and are looking for women. Hey, who isn't? With this as a context, I would like to make certain that these interplanetary types don't grab Tangela. Can you imagine an alien trying to grab Tangela?
No, I cannot, but I can dream.
It would be the last thing they'd ever did. I mean, yeah, she would do to them what she did to Neil Perlmutter a few weeks back. I have no doubt. No. And we still don't have the roof fixed.
The repairs alone.
Right. These reasons are for threefold. One, she's a hottie. Oh, you've been called a hottie. That's like a hot toddy, but it's different. Her absence would cause the quality of your show to tank. No, well, maybe the quality of the show would tank, but our budget would go way up because we wouldn't have all those medical bills or those citations.
Citations
from
indeed.
the Bodega Bay Police Department. And let's see. But three, most importantly, I'm concerned with the safety of those Martians, especially if Tangela is swinging a fully seasoned 12-inch cast iron frying pan. Just ask Andrew. He knows about this. Take care, stay safe, and remember the sage words of author E.B. White. I discovered, quite by accident, that reality and fantasy make good bedfellows. Sincerely, Tim, Carmel by the Sea. Well, thanks for writing, Tim. You know, I wonder if he ever visits Carmel by the volcano. Yeah, I bet it's hot there. Could be wrong. Is that it?
One more.
One more.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee. Oh my goodness, can I say these words?
Some of them.
Shall I censor a bit?
Perhaps.
All right. This is from Jonas Stevens in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he goes, "Dear Vince and those other guys, your show is stupid. I liked you when you did the band. Now you do this stupid S word every F word week. The movies are dumb. I'd rather rub my bottom with sandpaper and then take a dunk in a saltwater bathtub than watch another episode of your stupid program."
Masochist, it seems.
No, at least he's honest and straightforward. We don't get a lot of honesty on this show. Stop doing this stupid S word. Pick up your GD guitar. I don't have a GD guitar. I have a Gibson.
Indeed.
Oh no, I know. He didn't want to use the 2-letter version of that. And get back to making music, you insufferable British wank. Yours truly, Jonas Stevens, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Well, you know, I really don't know how to respond to this, Jonas. I hope everything is wonderful in Milwaukee, and we're glad that you've watched the show a few times. And no, you can't have his address. You know, she sends out letter bombs. You blokes need to be careful out there. That it?
She's graduated to killer ants.
Killer ants are nice. All right, if you'd like to send us a letter of your own, send it to the email address you see down here. Or if you'd like to send a package with a wonderful photograph like Tim from Carmel by the Sea, send it to the postal address you see right here. We'll be right back with Nate soon, but first let's get back to the Killer Shrews.
No, but I'm not saying that you created them, Jerry. I am saying that because of your drunken stupidity in leaving the cage door open, you created the horrible situation that now exists.
Look, Ann, this is a mistake any one of us might have made. I'm getting a little sick of being called an irresponsible drunk. Now, believe me, I am. Excuse me.
Care for a cigarette?
And thank heavens you arrived today.
You said that before. What's the strain?
That don't make sense. Please excuse me. But it seems like everything is coming to a head at once. I want to leave, but I want my father to go with me.
Well, then, why doesn't he?
We discussed it many times, but he's adamant. I'm sure Jerry has a lot to do with his decision. He tried to convince me that the crisis will only last for a few...
Well, this is certainly a cozy little scene. Might even be called intimate. Boy meets girl.
Stop it, Jerry. That remark is uncalled for. What I do or have to say does not concern you.
I can't disagree with you more, my dear. I'm concerned with everything you do, and I intend to keep it that way. Now, in my book, an engagement isn't a casual thing.
In my book, it isn't either. And last night ended ours.
Everybody in the world is scared to death of something.
That's evident. When they came at us last night, you knocked me down getting inside the fence.
It's just that I can't stand them.
And I've discovered something I can't stand.
All right. But I advise you not to mention it to anyone. I'm going to complete these experiments with your father regardless of anything. Do you understand that? Nobody is going to take this chance away from me.
That's Captain Sherman.
Checking the weather, I'll get him. Captain, time for dinner.
Stay.
You know, if one of those trees crashes through, it might just
Look,
knock
honey,
the whole...
any tree on this side of the house will fall away from it, so just relax. But I think I'd better go back aboard. I don't think I'm not grateful for your hospitality. I am. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thorne, your ship is safe. Please, stay here with me.
Why? You scared or lonesome?
Both.
I'll take a rain check on it.
Thorne, you can't leave. No one opens that gate after dark.
Well, who's going to stop me? You?
Well, this. No one opens that gate at night.
Now, look, I don't ask questions because it's against my principles. Wouldn't you like to explain that?
All right. Sit down and I will.
Give me the gun. Not very becoming anyway.
You believe in fairy tales?
Well, I'm a little old for that sort of thing, but what'd you have in mind?
Well, I'll tell you about one. A true fairy tale. And you're right in the middle of it.
Oh?
Have you ever heard of a shrew?
As in taming
No,
of the...
the animal. Bradford called them sorcericity when he showed you one.
Oh, then shrew must be the common name for those cute little animals.
Cute. That's the last word you can use to describe those little monsters. They're the most horrible animals on the face of the earth. As Father told you, they breed within 3 weeks after birth. Their lifespan is around 1 year.
I know what your father told me, but what's that got to do with me opening that gate?
There are 200 or 300 giant shrews out there. Monsters weighing between 50 and 100 pounds.
50 to 100. Wait a minute, you must be kidding.
I'm definitely not kidding.
That's as big as a full-grown wolf.
And what's more, they are beginning to starve.
No wonder you didn't want me to go out there. Thanks for saving my skin.
Well, I'm sorry I had to threaten you with a gun. But I didn't know how else to stop you.
Oh, it was very effective. But all you had to do was tell me about them.
Well, I hoped I wouldn't have to. But you changed everything when you started to leave. And I had to stop you some way.
You say there's 200 or 300 out there?
Anne! That's right, Captain Thorne. And if you'd stuck with your rowboat and played captain instead of trying to play detective, you wouldn't have to worry about how many are out there, would you?
That's enough, Jerry. What's wrong, Anne?
Thorne decided to leave. To dissuade him, I started to tell him about the shoes.
You might as well know the whole story as half of it. I guess you're all a little jumpy, Captain.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
6 months ago, we managed to isolate the pack to control in size. 2 litters are born. 6 individuals we kept for study. They were about the size of buckshot at birth. But the rate of growth was abnormal. They continued to grow. They were mutants. But they inherited all the negative characteristics of their breed. Somehow they managed to escape. But a month later, we saw one of their offspring. They were multiplying. We did everything in the world to exterminate them, but no apparent luck. Then we haven't seen any. Since daylight neither blinds them and they forage only at night when they're starving. But the fact that 2 of them charged Anne and Jerry at the gate last evening indicates that the available food on the island is nearing depletion.
Then what, Doctor?
They will exterminate each other. It'll take a couple days.
What do we do during that time?
Stay indoors and wait until it's over.
Probably get some wires glued down on the transformer.
I'm sorry. I'll get some lamps.
Mario! Mario!
Si, senor.
There's a lantern in the pantry. Light it and bring it in here. Bradford, light all the candles you can find.
All right, I will. Where's the generator?
Outside. Can't get at it at night.
Here, let me help.
The lantern will give you all the light you need. I will join you shortly, Jerry.
Portions of Creature Features are brought to you by the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Explore the mystery at winchestermysteryhouse.com.
Welcome back to Creature Features. We are watching the Killer Shrews with the killer Nate Woodward from Safari West. So this film was filmed in Dallas, Texas. Oh yeah, I don't know how they did. There's no ocean by Dallas, is there? I mean, they went to the ocean.
They filmed the ocean shots, yeah.
So not in Dallas.
No.
This whole filmmaking industry confuses me, how they do things. It's, they call it Hollywood magic. I think it's like Hollywood deception is what they do. It's not magic, it's deception.
Isn't a lot of magic deception?
I suppose it is. Sleight of hand, things like that. All right, well, Nate is the Grandmaster of Safari West, which is like, it's not a zoo, and it's not a petting zoo, and it's not a facility for curing diseased animals. It's a safari adventure, right?
Yeah.
And he runs this, and you have all kinds of animals. So let's talk about the animals you have. Somebody told me that as you drive in, it's like you've got this arch, and it's like you're going into Jurassic Park. Is it true you have dinosaurs?
Not dinosaurs per se, but maybe some relatives. If you've ever seen ostrich feet, those certainly look like they came right off a velociraptor.
Right.
Yeah.
And they could probably do as much damage.
Probably.
Right.
They kick hard.
Right. All right. So there's no dinosaurs, but they do have velociraptors, which is like a dinosaur, ostrich type thing. But you also have no. All right. So let's talk about giraffes, because you just had a baby giraffe.
We did.
Wait, not you.
Well, no, not
Another
me.
giraffe had a baby giraffe. But
Yeah. Baby giraffe are 100 pounds, 6 feet tall at birth. So I definitely could not have a baby giraffe that's bigger than me.
And they drop from quite a height.
Mother giraffe give birth standing up. They drop 6 feet at birth.
6 feet.
And then they're
Do you
up and
guys
walking.
have like a little trampoline ready in case?
No, nothing necessary like that.
Do you bring her out to a soft part of the park where the dirt is not
She does have a nice little pasture just for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. So this is, I'm always reading in the paper about a new giraffe being born.
Yeah, all the time.
Are you guys breeding giraffes? What's going on out there?
We've been breeding giraffe basically as long as we've had them. We've had over 30 giraffe births since we've been operating.
Giraffes?
Yeah.
And how many giraffes do you have there at one time?
Usually around a dozen. Right now, I believe we're at 13 or 14.
So you farm them out? You send them to other facilities? Because,
other partner zoos, San Diego, Oakland.
Well, I suppose you have to, because if you have too much interbreeding, you'll end up with a giraffe with a short neck, right?
Maybe not something like that, but our young males do go off to other facilities where there's unrelated herds of females, so they can father a new giraffe out there.
How wonderful, how wonderful. Elephants, no elephants.
No
but
elephants.
You have rhinoceri.
We do.
Now,
yeah.
What's the plural of rhinoceros?
The plural of rhinoceros is rhinoceros.
Is it? I always figured it'd be like rhinoceri.
No. But you know what's great?
What?
A herd of rhinos is a crash of rhinos.
A crash of rhinos?
Yeah.
Do you know what a group of pugs is?
I don't know what a group of pugs
is. A grumble of pugs.
A grumble of pugs.
True story.
You know flamingos?
No.
A flamboyance.
A flamboyance of flamingos. Crows.
A murder.
A murder of crows. All right. Weasels.
I don't know that one.
We're going to look that up, and when we come back, we're going to tell you what a group of weasels is called. But first, let's get back to the Killer Shrews. Stay with us.
Well, Jerry, I felt she was sincere and made sense from her standpoint.
Wanting her father to leave the island with her makes sense? It'd be much better for the project if I went with her for a few days. Matter of fact, I think I'll talk to the doctor about that. That might be the answer. And another thing, I don't take much to this Thorne Sherman. He looks to me like the type that'd try anything.
That left-handed dinner invitation, that was just to keep me here till after dark, wasn't it?
I wanted you here tonight. I thought something terrible was going to happen.
Well, you still feel the same way about it?
Not as much. Not since you're here. I know everything. I love an open fire, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
The wind has a lonesome sound, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Like in Sweden, we don't have a wind this strong. You're a strange man, Thorne. I never met anyone like you.
Oh?
You seem so disinterested in everything. Aren't you the least bit curious? Don't you wonder about the unusual things around here? The guns, the fence, the shuttered windows, my accent, anything?
I'll tell you something. I'm only interested in anything that concerns me, then I do something about it. You're going to sail with me tomorrow, whether your father intends to or not.
Thorne, no! Father, Brad! Out there!
I don't think he was going out, Jerry.
I couldn't take a chance. He's fool enough to.
Don't be stupid. I had no intentions of going out there, opening that gate. Now somebody needed it. Did you hear it, Doctor? It sounded like a human voice. I was thinking of Rook.
It was the livestock. The shrews got into the barn.
What was it, Father?
The livestock.
Did Mario forget to bar those doors?
No. I put them in the barn myself. They couldn't get through the wood doors. They dug through the dirt floor.
Let me ask you something, Doctor. How could you expose all our lives, yourself included, with those things out there? All you had to do was get the Coast Guard or the Navy to come in here and burn them out. Those things got loose.
Any unusual experiment can produce unusual results. That's why I chose this island. It's isolated. Miles of open water in any direction. Our project is privately financed. It's not a problem for the government or military. The world is in no danger. His species does not swim. And as far as the Shrews are concerned, this island is their world.
Very soon, right here on this island, is going to be a miniature reproduction of an overpopulated world. And you'll see the importance of what we're working to avoid.
I'm not concerned about all this theory. What I'm concerned about is our lives.
There'll be ample time to panic when they run out of food and go on a 24-hour forage.
How do you know they haven't already?
That's possible. Their main diet has been the small animals on the island. That source could have been depleted 18 or 20 hours ago. And that's why they went after the livestock.
There's still some food on this island before they reach the crisis.
Where? No worry about them digging in here. The floors are tile.
But the walls aren't, Doctor. They're adobe. Our safest bet would be on that boat.
You may be right. You can reach your boat in daylight. The Shrews will gorge themselves on livestock. That should keep them lethargic for several hours.
There's no sense looking at the dark side.
And there's no sense minimizing a serious situation. It leaves you completely unprepared to cope with it. No, we certainly can't make it tonight. That's out of the question. Maybe tomorrow. I haven't. We'll get some sleep tonight, but we'll have a watch, an hour and a half apiece. Doctor, you go first, and then Radford, Mario, Jerry, and then me. Shutter all the windows, make sure they're locked good and tight, check all these walls.
Come on.
No, I think I'll stay here by the fire. I feel safer. I couldn't stand it in that room alone.
All right, as you wish. But try to get some sleep.
Senor Farrell, here is Mario. You are next to make the patrol, no?
Sure, Mario. Come on in. I've been waiting for you to finish. I must have dozed off. You kind of startled me. Sit down. Here. Have a drink. It will help you to relax.
Gracias, señor.
Sit down. Just a while. You just checked every room in the house, didn't you?
Sí.
Fine. You're a good man, Mario. A man that can be trusted. You know what I've been thinking about, Mario? Anne and that captain. You and me. Imagine an intelligent girl like her going for a common sea tramp like him. I know why. You do too. In case anything goes wrong, she's looking out for her own hide. That's why I keep thinking about you and me. Anything goes wrong, we're gonna outlast them all. going to trust you to take my turn at patrolling the house. But when you finish, don't wake the captain. Come back here and get me. Yeah, I'll probably feel good enough by then to take his turn. Okay, Mario?
Safe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Jim from San Jose. I just want to say, me and my wife Eileen, we love your show. We watch it every Saturday night. And even if the movies are lousy, you and everybody else there make our night. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.
Portions of Creature Features are brought to you by the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. Explore the mystery at winchestermysteryhouse.com.
Senor, it is Mario.
Mario, come on in. What is it?
There is a big raton en la bodega.
A shrew in the cellar?
See, I hear him singing down there.
Well, how did he get in?
The store broke out the kitchen window, but I closed it off. He went down there.
Why should he go down there?
The food for the little ratones. I put it out to frost. They love it.
Did you tell Jerry?
No, senor. Here is your turn next. Here is una luz. We kill him, no?
Yeah. And wake up. A shrew got in. It's all right. He's down in the cellar. Now we're going down after him. But I don't want you to let anybody open that door till I tell you to. You understand? Good girl. Okay. Open it just a crack. Open. Hold on to it. Okay. You take that side. Mario?
Aquí. See, Airdate. I see where he was. I do not see where he is.
Cuidado.
Si, senor. I will be careful. And he also got busy.
You all right down there? Doctor, get down here, quick! Mario. He's dead. Dead? I got this on him right away. He couldn't have bled to death. Might as well let go of it. Won't do him any good now. What could have killed him? I'm not certain. Till the autopsy.
Hemotoxic syndrome.
I'm afraid so. We'll know after pathology. Doctor, that's not the same animal you showed me. That's a monster. As I said, they are mutants. In controlling the size factor, we seem to have crossed some of the other characteristics. Well, you certainly did a good job of it. I've known that for some time, Captain. Would you please give me a hand with Mario? Bradford, bring up the animal.
exceptionally high poison content in the shrew's saliva.
Now compare it with this. Careful count isn't necessary. Any indication of the same poison in Mario's blood will give you the answer.
Yes, you're right.
Look, Ann. Brooding about it's not going to do any good. Now, why don't you try to think of something else? Tell me, what do you do around here? Are you a scientist?
I'm a zoologist.
Oh. That's the study of animal life, isn't it? Well, do you specialize? What do you specialize in?
They died. Well, I had a hand in this, too. And I'm partly to blame. But this ends it. If we ever get off this island, I'll never have anything to do with it again.
What will you do?
Live normally, like normal women do. You see, it seemed a little dull after the life I've been living. Rather dull and alive than excited and...
I'll take a dull, alive woman every time.
Guests of the show stay at Hotel E on Courthouse Square in Santa Rosa. Portions of this program are brought to you by Micromat, making products that keep your Macintosh running at its best. Angela, have you seen my laptop? I wonder where it went.
Say, Thorne, the autopsy has proved what we suspected. Several weeks ago, I concocted the most virulent poison I could with the materials I had at hand. So we put it out as bait. Mario was killed by poison.
Doctor, I wonder if you thought the system of the Sorex enabled them to assimilate that poison. It remained in the salivary glands of their jaws. Isn't that wonderful? I am sorry. Of course, I always speak from the clinical point of view.
Well, don't you have something to counteract that poison?
Once Mario was bitten, I'm afraid there's nothing anyone could have done. This indicates that they cannot afford to get even so much as a scratch from these animals. They are more poisonous than snakes.
What, do you think they're all affected?
Best way to find out is let them all bite you and see which bite you die after.
We might just all get that chance, Jerry. You included. Doctor, I've closed all the doors in the house. I suggest we do the same thing with this hall and this lab. Cut down the chances of getting in the front of the house. I think if we keep a close watch on those walls and windows in there, we might make it till daybreak.
The walls are 2 feet thick, Stu. Do you think they have a chance to dig in?
Of course there's a chance. Anywhere that plaster's off, that adobe's as soft as mush where that rain hit it. It's not a bad idea, Doctor. But here's another possibility, Doctor. It's very light out. It's going to be daylight soon. We'll take the shrew that killed Mario and throw it over the fence and use it for bait. If they show up for it, of course, they'll run for the boats out. If they don't, then I'll go down and have Rook lay to with a lighter. Then I'll return to the bend and the trail and give you the all-clear signal.
Sounds fine, Captain.
Good. Then you explain it to the rest.
Yes, I will.
Well, the bait's been out for 20 minutes. Nothing's touched it.
Even the wind has gone down. Isn't that wonderful?
I'm afraid it's not over, my dear. It's just a lull. There'll be a lot more.
He's right. I'll be back at the bend shortly. Now you watch for my signal.
You can't go alone.
I'll go with him.
Not you, Father. You haven't even fired a gun. Take Red or Jerry.
Sure, I'll go. Then you'll be sure of getting a signal.
Don't shoot that gun unless you have to. We've only got 20 rounds altogether.
I know that as well as you do. Sherman, you stay away from her.
You have that gun pointed at me?
Right at the middle of your back.
Look, we got enough problems without worrying about Ann.
I'm telling you, stay away from her, or when the Shrews get through with you, they won't even find the buckshot.
Where's the skiff? I'll follow that check line. I gotta find him.
Since last night, you won't find much of him.
Will you shut up?
I'm not going back.
You what?
I'm staying here.
All right. You suit yourself, but if I were you, I'd swim out to that boat.
Can't swim.
Then stay here.
Wait a minute. You gotta give me a gun.
Give you a gun?
Sherman, wait!
This is the gun we had on the boat. They don't leave much, do they?
Sherman, we gotta make a deal for it.
What is it? Shh. They've been trailing us on both sides.
Where? I didn't see anything. Look, Sherman, you got to give me a gun.
Whatever you do, don't you run. You stay in front of me, because I don't trust you.
They're coming!
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Stay tuned. This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Welcome back to the show. We're so glad you stayed with us. You know, a lot of times people switch off. No, they go and watch Saturday Night Live.
Imagine that.
Oh, that's terrible. Anyways, you're going to be glad you stayed because we have the actual skull of a dinosaur with us here tonight. You know, he was saying they don't have dinosaurs, but he brought proof that they do.
Well, this is something maybe as big as a dinosaur, but something you could still see alive on the planet today.
Which is?
The giraffe.
That is not a giraffe.
Yes, it is.
Look, it's got this spiny thing.
It does. These are the insides of the giraffe's ossicones. They're horn-like structures. And on the living giraffe, they look different because they're covered in fur. They look fluffy and harmless. But inside, they're hard.
That's the same thing with a dinosaur. The dinosaurs were covered with fur and feathers, I'm told.
Yeah, feathers, scales, some fur in some cases.
No, but it's the teeth. See, those are dinosaur teeth.
Yeah. Well, they're huge teeth, for one, but these are definitely flat herbivore teeth for grinding leaves. This is not a meat eater
Well, it's
here.
the same with the Brontosaurus. He's got
That's
like
true.
the flat...
Yeah, the Brontosaurus has big, flat teeth.
No, he's right. He's an expert on this. I shouldn't challenge experts. You know, I often do it just to see, you know, what they do, because you probably have customers come up and say, you know, I think that's a dinosaur, and you're wrong. And he knows how to answer that query politely. So this is obviously from, this bloke's no longer living.
That is correct.
And was this one that was on your facility?
Yeah.
It happens.
It does. You know, we've been operating for about 30 years, and, you know, average lifespan of a giraffe is 18 to 20, sometimes longer in human care. Yeah,
so it's like the same as a horse?
A little bit longer, but yeah, similar.
Wow. No, you save the skulls. You know, I've saved the skulls. I mean, that's what Tangella does.
Does she?
No. Yeah, well, she'll stick a candle in the top. You know, you could do something like that at Safari West, where you could do your own animal horror host program.
Could fit a big candle on there.
A big candle, and then you know you have Nate, and he hosts movies, but they would all be monster movies, animal related. Like you could show Jaws.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't have any sharks at Safari West, do you?
No sharks.
No sharks.
Not many aquatic animals at all.
Well, you don't have the pool facility yet, right?
No, not yet.
You just have the small pond.
Mm-hmm.
But you have trout.
We have koi.
Koi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be coy about that statement. And let's get back to the Killer Shrews and see where this is going.
All right.
All right. You guys stay with us.
Open the gate! Open! Open the gate! Open the gate! You can let him in. Let him in. Jerry, open the door!
out there. I couldn't take a chance.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Look, get back.
For heaven's sakes, Doctor, stop them!
All right, didn't he have it coming, or didn't he?
What happened out there?
Oh, nothing much. Jerry just tried to kill me twice in the last 5 minutes. Brooke came ashore last night. He's dead. This all was left. Won't do us any good. It's got no ammo.
I'm deeply sorry, Captain. I wish I had followed your orders.
Look, Doctor, you casually mentioned animals. You didn't explain to us what we were facing out there.
You have every right to feel the way you do. My mistake was only mine. It was one of judgment. I didn't know about the hurricane. I didn't anticipate the effect it would have on the Shrews. I thought the house would be safe through the crisis.
How could you expose your own daughter? How could you expose Anne to that?
She was going to leave last week, but the boat didn't come.
Here's a drink. Anybody else care for one?
I could use some coffee.
I'll make some.
Thank you, madam.
Creamy sugar.
Oh, my leg!
Slam the door!
You all right, Doctor?
He just ripped my trousers, that's all.
Are you sure that's all there is?
I'm completely aware of it, Doctor.
That was a stupid waste of ammunition. Every one of them a clean mess. There's still 4 of them in there.
How did they get in?
Through that kitchen window. That rope must be rotten.
It got him!
Bradford! He's dead.
Oh, no.
You recorded every symptom and reaction, right up to the moment of his death.
Jerry, tear down one of those drapes and cover him up.
Sure. Craigus will cover Ann, and I'll cover him. You'll cover me, but who'll cover you? Shut up! We can get on this man old sway from the shed. Shut up!
Now you stop sniffling and think!
It'll take a tank to get us out of here.
It won't take them long to dig around this.
You're right. No telling where else they're digging, too. Come on, Patty. There's not enough stuff here to barricade those walls. I'll tell you, we'll pile some of those crates up over there. The roof's our last chance. Here, help me, Doctor. And see if you can find something light. All right. Here, help me with that, Doctor. Jerry, see if you can find some room. Doctor. Yes? Use these chemical drums as tanks. Individual tanks. Here, I'll show you.
All right.
Stand down here. Yep. Let it down now.
All right.
Slow.
All right. I mean, all right?
Yeah. Hole in here to make some eyepieces.
Yeah, some tools over there in the corner. All right.
Hey, here's another one. Hey, get that out there. We'll work on it. Make this even better. Give me a little more slack. Get some rope and put it on that latch so we can reach it from the ground.
Hairstyling for the show was provided by Restoration Hair in Santa Rosa.
Bow, 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 bow. Tell me, Nick, these killer shrews, do you have any killer shrews at Safari West?
You know, we don't have any killer shrews, and I actually read that the killer shrews in the film are bloodhounds wrapped in shag carpeting.
Shag carpeting?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you don't wrap your bloodhounds at Safari West in shag carpeting, do you?
No, but we might for Halloween now.
There you go. It's a good idea. Anyways, what in God's name is this?
That is a horn off of a kudu antelope.
A kudu?
Mm-hmm.
This is huge and it's heavy.
Yeah.
You know, I want to recreate the Ricola commercial. Ricola. No, they don't use these for trumpets, do they?
No, in fact, the animals use it most often, not even for fighting, but for showing off for the ladies.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have two.
They would have two.
Two of these.
They'd even dip them down in the mud, decorate them with dirt and grass to look extra fancy.
So it's like festive.
Mm-hmm.
They festoon themselves with weeds and things.
Mm-hmm.
This is wonderful. So this is still got the bone.
Yeah, so horns have a bone core with blood and marrow on the living animal. Yeah.
So if they lose a horn, it could be dangerous for the animal, right? Now, that's not the case with deer, though, right?
Correct, yeah. So deer have antlers, similar, but they don't have the bone core, and if you break them, they grow back.
So an antler is seasonal.
Yes.
And a horn is permanent.
You got it.
Oh, I just learned something. You know, I always wondered why they call them antlers. I thought it's because ants like walking on their horns.
Mm.
So they're like Yeah, I make this stuff up because I just learned how to use Google, so I'm getting better about these odd facts. But good. All right. Well, we need to learn how people can learn more about the facility and come visit. What's your season?
So Safari West is open March through December every year, but we're busiest in the summer.
Right. Right. So you're even open for Christmas?
We are open for Christmas.
Imagine that, spending Christmas at Safari West.
Christmas with Giraffe.
Yes, no. Well, I'm sure Tangela is going to spend her next Christmas there. And you have all kinds of facilities where people could stay overnight.
Yeah, we've got these cool safari tent cabins. It feels like you're on a real safari.
No, it feels like you're in a condominium.
A little bit.
There's actual flushing loos and everything. No, you've got everything. And then you've got the, what do you call the barbecue area dining?
Oh, yeah, our Savannah Cafe.
Savannah Cafe. You know, I've actually stayed there, and it was so much fun.
Very cool.
And then you hear all the animals at night.
Oh, yeah, especially the flamingos. They're the noisiest.
Right. No, they're flamboyant. Oh, we forgot to mention, it's a confusion of weasels.
Oh, okay.
Confusion of weasels. All right, so to find out more about the facility, we go to just safaриwest.com.
SafariWest.com, yeah.
All right, that's wonderful. Go check out the website. You're going to love it. Check out the facility. You're going to love it more. And if somebody can't make it to California, where could they go instead?
You know, there's a lot of great facilities around the country doing something similar to what we do. Off the top of my head, I know the Wilds outside of Columbus has a great safari.
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
Right,
yes,
right.
That's right. Down in Texas, they've got Fossil Rim. Up in Oregon.
Fossil Rim?
Yeah, Fossil Rim.
Wow.
And in Oregon, they've got the Oregon Safari Park there.
How wonderful. You know, I think there should be one in every state.
Yeah.
And in California, there should be two. Because Los Angeles doesn't have anything like this, but we do. All right, let's get back to Killer Shrews, and when we come back, we're going to find out what you're doing next, right, Nate?
Yep.
All right, don't go away. I won't go away because I'm wired to the seat.
Hold this in, all right? All right, we're all set. It's going to be rough, but we should be able to duck walk to the beach. Where's Jerry?
There's a lot of them out there. I can see them. I'm not going.
Look, come down here. That wind will blow you right off that roof.
I told you I'm not going. I'm staying here.
You got to get them down here somehow. And see if you can coax them down here.
Jerry, please come down with us.
No, Ann, they'll get you if you go out.
Come down here, you fool! Poor devil, I hope he makes it.
We can't leave him. He's not responsible for himself.
Got to go now. All right, Doctor.
All right.
Now hold it up. Everybody ready? I'm going to open that gate.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay, here they come. Hold on! Hold on! Your side's dragging. You want to rest? You tired?
Mira, Goffin, habló andase acá en tercera.
What'd you say?
She says she's all right. She's keeping her eyes closed.
All right. Keep your eyes closed. They can't get at you through the slit.
This empty drum is too heavy for her. I can barely hold up my side.
I'll be all right in a minute.
All right. You walk. I'll drag for a while. Listen, don't let their head get under. They'll flip us over. Is there a scratch?
No, not a mark.
Keep moving. Let's go! Let's go! What?
Son! Wait, son! Son, we're close!
We'll hit the water soon. It doesn't sound like they're following us anymore.
We better work deeper.
I'm about drowned out.
Okay, let's swim for it.
Okay. We are safe, aren't we? I mean, the storm.
Oh, sure. She rode out the first half all right, and that's always the roughest. Anyway, riding an anchor, I'll get a chance to learn a little more about that Swedish accent.
In 24 hours, there'll be one shrew left on the island, and he'll be dead of starvation. An excellent example of overpopulation.
Well, you know something, Doctor?
What's that?
I'm not going to worry about overpopulation just yet.
And that ends the Killer Shrews. You know, this whole technique of building small army tanks. You could use that technique at Safari West, could you not? If you have to, like, go service an animal that's vicious.
Oh, yeah, a cheetah shield.
Right.
Yeah.
A cheetah, no. Are they mean?
No, I wouldn't say so.
You know, I remember getting close to the cage and hearing it purr like a kitten.
They do.
They purr like a kitten.
They are the largest cat in the world that purrs their whole life.
That's amazing. Intriguing. So, did you have fun at Safari West? She loves, she's been bugging me forever to take her to Safari West. So, no. And thanks to Nate, she was able to do the full grand tour. You got to see more than most people, She was on her best behavior. Typically she goes to a facility like that and she puts explosives down the loo. I don't know why. She's a budding young wannabe plumber, but she's dangerous. Oh, and she brought her vulture out. Do you have vultures?
We do. We have hooded vultures.
Hooded vulture. What makes a vulture hooded?
They actually look like they have little hoods or almost powdered parliament wigs over their heads.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Right. And I imagine you have the regular local vultures.
Yep, a lot of local turkey vultures as well.
How wonderful, wonderful. Okay, any fun stuff coming up?
Well, our busy season's coming up, so
Right.
we're getting ready for that. Lots of people going on safari.
Right.
You can spend the night right now. It's a great time of year to do that.
Right. How many of these units do you have?
We have 30 of the safari tents.
30 units? So it's like a medium-sized hotel.
Almost, yeah.
In a sense.
But
And
with
you
giraffe.
feed them, and you also have all kinds of events out there as well.
Yeah, you can host your event at our center. We've got the elephant room, which is a nice big event space that you can use. Yeah.
Nice. Well, it'd have to be if it's an elephant room, right? All right. So one more time, safariwest.com if you want to go visit. Look up the website and get all the info and reserve your tour or your stay ASAP because they book up quickly, right? Right. Thank you so much, Nate, for coming. We will
My
see you
pleasure.
again soon at Safari West. And as far as you guys go, thanks for staying up and watching this old movie with us again. We've shown this 3 times. And, we're going to have to start doing this because we've been on the air so long, re-showing movies. But you stuck with us, and we love you for it. And we hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. Different guest, different movie. I don't know who, don't know what, but it'll be fun. Have a great evening. See you next time. So, Nate, I imagine you have job openings at your facility from time to time. So maybe you have a need for like a park ranger.
You?
Of course.
I'm not sure you're qualified for that, but have you ever mucked out a rhino stall?